understand you people had some UFO activity over there tonight. Can you give us anything on it?
Well, you sure got a hold of that quick. In fact, our helicopter crew saw one at about 3:15, Shelley? Yeah, about 3:15. Let's see, the pilot said he saw it coming on about a 40 to 60 degree heading, which he said it came from the southwest horizon to the northeast horizon. And he said it was two. They were like in formation, although one was a little ahead of the other. Left kind of a blue glow as it went along, but it wasn't a real long tail. He said it looked like two teardrops more or less because of the way they were moving so fast. But he says it covered from the pilot's side of the windshield to the observer side of the windshield, and he said about 5 seconds. He said the speed was just unbelievable, just remarkable.
Did he feel they were fairly low?
No, he thought the altitude was fairly high on it. He says it wasn't quite from horizon to horizon. He described it more as from one end of the windshield to the other, which is pretty close to horizon, though.
Yes.
And he said it was just unbelievably quick.
Okay.
If you hold on a second, let me check out the heliport and see if they've left yet. They went down a while ago. I don't know if they put the bird to bed yet.
Will do.
Okay, hold on. Apparently just left. They don't answer the phone, so they're probably out on the road right now. And he's probably our most senior pilot. He's got the most hours with us.
Okay.
And his observer's name is, and they both made the observation.
And we'd like to hear from them if possible.
Okay, will do. They felt it was fairly important, too. We went ahead and cut a call on it and logged it out so that there would be a record of it also.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. And you?
Oh, pretty good.
We understand you saw something tonight.
How about that, huh?
Okay. Would you like to describe it?
Yeah, it's, we were flying, I'm a cop, and we were flying patrol, and we sighted two similar to falling stars, but they were not falling stars. They were in formation, and they went all the way across our windshield, which is probably about 7/8 of the entire horizon, and that was about it. But it was quite exciting.
Okay, now, as a pilot, do you have any estimate of the size of these things?
No, I do not. They were high. They were very high and very fast. Very fast. They covered the horizon. I estimate we watched them for about 4 seconds. And in other words, there are so many reasons why they're not falling stars, because I've been flying too long to, be any kind of thinking about they were falling stars. They were in formation. One was ahead, and the other one was kind of like a wingman off to the right, a little bit, right rear type thing.
Yes.
And both of them were identical in brightness, size, shape, speed, direction. Everything was identical. They were definitely in formation, and they just they were getting it on. I'll tell you. We weren't up there.
Did these things just move out of your sight, or did they fade out?
That was kind of strange. To me, they kind of, they went across the sky and then just left. They just disappeared. It wasn't like they just poofed. They just did not continue. They didn't go all the way down on the horizon. They disappeared while they were in the sky. But they, I just contributed that to just getting it so fast. But,
okay. Was that disappearance abrupt?
Yes, it seemed to be abrupt. That's a good word for it.
Okay. And which direction were you looking at the time?
We were almost due north, and we kind of turned their way after it was all over. I figured that somebody might be interested, so we kind of replotted them. They were going about a 50 degree, somewhere about a 50 degree heading across the sky.
Level flight?
Similar, yeah, level. Yeah, I'd say that they were going same as the horizon.
Okay, and they were what color?
Both of us talked it over, and we both feel that it was a kind of a light blue. It wasn't a flame. It wasn't a white, like a falling star. It was not like a falling star. They were kind of a light blue, and neither one, for the speed they were going, another reason why they weren't falling stars is because of the speed they were going, they didn't leave a long enough tail. It was a fairly short trail behind them, considering their speed, and yet it was a long trail, but not as fast as they were going there. Should have had a longer tail on it. So, kind of a light blue. He thinks light blue to gray. To me, it would be a glowing light blue.
Okay. Did you have tinted windows in the copter?
No, the glass that we saw them out of was not tinted.
Clear. Okay.
Clear glass.
Did you have to look up at all to see those?
No. Well, they were slightly up. They were probably on a 10-degree upward from us. They were about 10 degrees up. But no, it wasn't. They went right across in front of us. They were up there. We definitely know that they were real high. But they went across our horizon, right across our windshield.
Okay. Could you make an estimate of size by comparing it with something?
No, I really can't. They were just. I don't have any way to figure out how high they were. They were They were high. They were definitely high. But no way to estimate size.
Okay, what was the exact time of that?
I think about 3:15, 0315.
And you felt that was for how long?
I think we saw him for about 4. He thinks about 4 to 5 seconds. I think about 4 seconds would just about cover it.
And you would rule out the large meteors?
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. I mean, even if it would have been one of them, number one, there's just no way that two meteors are going to fall side by side in formation. Both sides were exactly the same. Both of them were exactly the same appearance. And I've seen so many falling stars. I have over 5,000 hours of flying, and I've seen so many falling stars, and they were not falling stars. They were not bright enough to be a falling star, and they were just identical, and they were definitely, they were in formation, which is just all these years, and I've finally seen something like that.
Well, when they came into your view, was it something that you felt just moved into your view, or did it just suddenly appear there?
I forget what we were doing. I think we were working a call or something, and then just out of the corner of my eye, I saw him, and I pointed him out, and just after then, he spotted him. And we just both watched him, and I kept, at first, falling star, and then I kept waiting for him to fade out like a falling star would, and they just kept going and going and going and going. And then I started realizing they're in formation. There's two of them, and then when they disappeared, we sat there going, we have just seen a UFO.
Yeah, okay. And let's see, is this the first time you've ever seen anything like this?
Yes, I've been at God for 11 and a half years, and I've been flying for about 6.5 of that. And now I've never seen anything like it. And the only two explanations could have been that would even been, somebody could even argue with us about would be falling stars, of which they were definitely not. And then another thing might be a jet airplane. Absolutely not. They're too fast to be any kind of jet that we have. And a jet, I don't believe, would have a trail like that.
Did you check with any of the FAA agencies there to see if they had that thing on radar?
I called Long Beach Tower, and they kind of laughed. I think they thought we were kidding them or something. And I talked to them, and I could tell that wasn't going to get anywhere, so I just kind of let them laugh it off. But they were over there sleeping or something. Okay. Now, I asked them if you had anybody reporting any sightings of UFOs, and they snickered and said no, but you're the first. And they were treating it like a joke, so I didn't want to push that.
Right.
So I told them to go back to sleep. But no, that was it. We had another one earlier in the city tonight. We had a call. Some lady saw a UFO, and I asked them if they'd gotten her number, but they evidently didn't take her number or anything else.
Yeah.
And we checked that out. Naturally, we kind of that too.
Yeah, we had a call earlier this evening from a couple pilots flying over the area. I think around 8:45 or something like that. They spotted something up there.
It's exciting, and I'm one of these people that I'm very open-minded to this kind of stuff, and I don't say I believe in them, but I definitely think that a person has to be pretty narrow-minded to believe that we're out here in this big ocean of air and not be the only ones in it. So.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
How are the sky conditions?
Clear. Okay. Beautiful night out here. Absolutely clear. No clouds. No haze. Nothing. Absolutely beautiful night, 60 degrees. I mean, it's just beautiful.
Great.
So I'm trying to think of anything else, and no, I can't think of anything. It was real exciting. I'm always glad I finally saw something like that.
Well, we sure appreciate your talking to us, and if you see anything in the future, why, give us a call. Call collect. This line is collect for any police officers who are seeing things and reporting.
So what do you do with this now?
Well, of course, we'll hope that other witnesses will come through, and then we'll evaluate the information and run it through a data reduction system and catalog that into our data bank and use it for our research programs.
That's interesting. I know one of our units said that he had about 4 people that saw the same thing we did. So, we didn't push that either. So, and I thought somebody said that a couple more of our units had seen them. So you might, I don't know if that would do you any good, but I know we saw them, and everybody was kind of curious, and everybody was kind of chuckling us at first until I realized that we were serious.
Right.
And both of us discussed this, and we definitely know that they were not anything, but they were, that's the only thing it could be. It's just the conditions, there was no way. That's what they were.
Were you directly over Huntington Beach at the time?
Yes, we're
okay.
Right about the middle of the city, going almost in the same direction as they were, just a little bit, and they just cut all the way across.
Okay, then would you say they were coming in from the ocean?
They were, I kind of described it at first from, they were coming in from the ocean, about a southwest to a northeast attitude.
Yeah.
And then we kind of went on the heading in between 40 and 60 degrees. And they were flying.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jim.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, have a nice day.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah, this is Sergeant in Santa Ana Police Department.
Yes, sir.
How many calls have you had tonight?
Quite a few.
They were neat, eh? I was just talking to some of the people down here. I'm in Southern California.
Yes.
Okay, well, I started calling around to some of the different control towers. Talked to LAX, their control tower. The controller said he didn't see him, but he had 2 reports on him. One from a pilot. And then I talked to Ontario, and he hadn't heard anything. But the military base, when I was trying to come up with a number, this UFO sighting number, military said March Air Force Base spotted them, and all the police departments in between here and God only knows where. So how far north did you get your calls from?
Well, we've got some out of as far north as Marin County.
That's what we heard. We heard about 10 minutes after we saw them, our dispatcher inside was talking to Control 1, which is a centralized base, communications base for all of Orange County, and they said they had gotten reports of a sighting in Santa Clara County, which is just south of Marin County.
Yeah, so whatever it was, it had to be quite high.
Oh, yeah, they were. And boy, were they moving. We saw them only for about, I'd say 4 or 5 seconds, and they were coming out of the south, kind of the southwest going northeast. And that was almost, well, from the southeast horizon to where we couldn't see them over some buildings. But according to this pilot that reported to LAX, he saw them horizon in about 10 seconds.
Right, we just talked to him.
Oh, did you?
Right.
The pilot?
Right, he's Huntington Beach.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, they were flying their helicopter at the time.
Police?
Right.
Oh, is that right? What did he guesstimate on altitude?
Well,
it's so hard to tell.
He wasn't going to make any estimate because he had no way of telling without knowing the size of the thing.
Yeah. Did he report 2 lights?
Right.
One at different altitude?
Right, but he said they held their formation all the way.
If it was a formation, it was hard to tell. We never could distinguish a body or a form, but there were 2 lights, and they were at different altitudes. You know, it was either an awfully big object with light on top and bottom, or there were 2 of them. You know, whatever. But I've been a police officer for 13 years. I've never seen anything like it. It was neat. I want them to come back.
Can we get your name again?
Yeah. Do I have to?
Oh, no.
No, that's all right. It's I'm a sergeant with Santa Ana Police Department. But I had, after I called it in, just fooling around with the dispatcher, I said, we got UFOs in the area. About 3 other officers called in and said, yeah, I saw them too. I had 2 officers standing with me at the time, and we watched them. And apparently, talking to the military police down here, they heard on their scanners that the sheriff's office here and several of the other police departments heard it or observed them.
Right.
Also. Yeah, and I wouldn't try to guesstimate on altitude either, because there's no way of knowing.
Right.
I'm a private pilot. I fly, and I know there isn't anything made that moves that fast. You know, when I first spotted it, like I said, I thought it was a shooting star because, and I didn't even get it out of my mouth. I realized it was, and then I thought airplane landing lights. You know, but then it was moving so fast that it couldn't have, no way it could have been an airplane. And it's just very unusual.
Well, we sure appreciate your report.
Sure. Did wake you up, or
No.
you just been on the phone?
No, we've been up a while.
Are you with the government?
No, it's a private scientific organization.
Oh, is that right?
Right.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, the government has given up their study, so we have to go it alone.
And most of it came just from California.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Very good. I want to write this number down. We couldn't find our number, so what do I list it as besides UFO sightings?
Just UFO Reporting Center.
Reporting Center.
Right.
Okay. Very good.
And
Are you in Seattle?
right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And any police personnel seeing things can call collect if they have no other means there.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. Very good. Okay, nice. How's the weather up there?
A little cloudy.
Is it?
Yeah, but otherwise very mild.
Well, that's not good. We need rain. Do you guys need rain?
Boy, we need it in eastern Washington. They're ready to blow away over there.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, of course, California, you know, they're rationing water in our northern part of our state.
Yeah, it looked pretty bad for us here for a while, but it's been raining off and on for about 3 weeks now.
Well, that's good. Very good. Okay, nice talking to you.
Right, thanks a lot.
You bet.
Bye.
Collect call from Huntington Beach Police. Will you accept?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hello?
Hi there.
Hi.
Understand you saw something tonight.
Yes, it was a little strange.
Okay, we'd like to get your version of it.
Okay. We were, myself and my partner, I believe you already talked to him,
Right.
we're heading northbound along Golden West Street, which is a north-south street in our city. And I believe we're about 800 feet. We're in a helicopter. And we're watching the horizon, and my partner was in the left side of the helicopter, called my attention to two objects he saw moving across the sky. And I looked at them. They were on the left side of our helicopter bubble at that time. And I looked up and saw two objects, kind of a light bluish in color, a bluish glow to them or something. And they were heading all from a southwesterly to northeasterly direction at very high rate of speed, and we had them in visual for about around 5 seconds. They were both exactly identical in size and shape, like a teardrop with a tail on it, and both one was flying just a little bit to the left, I believe, and ahead of the other, and they looked like they were in formation.
Mm-hmm.
Flying across, and it was very odd. It was the first time I've ever seen anything like that.
Okay, now did you see the objects as they disappeared from your view? Did these things just disappear abruptly, or did they just go out of sight in the distance?
Well, they it appeared that, I'm trying to think, when they got to my right, the bubble of the helicopter comes down and obscured my vision.
Uh-huh.
And so after about, I'd say 4 to 5 seconds, when they got to the right part where my vision is obscured by a part of the frame of the bubble, then I couldn't see him anymore.
Uh-huh.
So in that sense of the word, it was abruptly. I didn't see him after that.
Okay, would you say these things were quite high?
Yeah, I'd say they were quite high. We couldn't make out any form to them at all. You can make out form, of a plane even at night, in normal altitudes or normal approach altitudes. But yeah, these were quite high.
Okay, now in your opinion, how long did you watch those?
I'd say between 4 and 6 seconds. It's hard to say exactly, but it was between 4 and 6 seconds. They traversed the whole our whole vision from inside of our bubble there in the helicopter, from left to right.
Okay, were they leaving a trail that you could see?
Yeah, the trail was all like it was attached. It was like a tail more than a trail.
Okay.
And that was what was odd about them, because they were identical. You know, they're the same distance. Each was exactly the same.
Okay. In your opinion, were they flying a horizontal flight path?
Oh yeah, the attitude was definitely horizontal.
Okay.
Definitely parallel to the ground.
Okay. You know, I forgot to ask his telephone number. Do you have that handy?
I don't have it handy.
Okay.
I'm sure you can probably call back and get it.
Yeah, sure. Okay, well, I think we got all the information we need. We've had quite a few calls from the Southern California area on this.
Tonight?
Right.
That's really odd. You know, it was real strange. We had just investigated one earlier. We had just lifted off from the pad, and I guess it was about 9:30 or thereabouts, 9 o'clock, and we got a radio call to respond to the area, Heil and Edwards in our city, and check for one. And you know, we thought at that time there was a lot of air traffic up. You know, LA still, and Long Beach is still busy with all their people coming in, and there was a lot of air traffic up. And we thought, well, she just saw lights or something. So we flew over there, looked around, didn't see anything but a bunch of airplanes in the sky, and just forgot about it until about 3:15.
Yeah. Okay, well, we sure appreciate your calling, and this number is for police personnel, is open for collect calls.
Okay.
And otherwise, for the general public, it's just straight dial direct.
Yeah.
But if we get anything regarding the identification of these things, why, we'll get back to you and let you know.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, my name's from Los Angeles.
Yes, sir.
I'm got the number here for UFO Reporting Center, right?
Right.
Do you guys have enough calls tonight?
And we had our share from your area.
Oh, okay, then I won't bother you with this.
Did you see something yourself?
No, not myself. I just reported from our aircraft.
Oh. Uh-huh. Do you have any names or involved witnesses?
Believe it or not. Tomorrow. But I didn't get his first name.
Okay, did you have a telephone number?
He's in our Aero Bureau. Yeah, what's Aero Bureau's phone number? Anyway, you want to copy this stuff down?
Yes.
Okay, at 0325, spotted what appeared to be white lights. Direction of travel is west to east. 1,500 feet. 500 to 600 miles per hour. Appeared to be a magnesium ball. He said, and it trailed off a particle that dropped about 70 to 75 feet before burning out.
Okay.
And he's a pilot or an observer, I don't know which, I didn't ask him, from our Aero Bureau that's based at Long Beach Airport.
I see.
Okay, and then he also had another sighting last night, 20:45 hours. That would be on the 21st.
Okay.
It was 200 miles per hour and accelerating from northeast to southwest and disappeared on the horizon. That was about 200 feet. He was in a chopper at that time.
I see. Okay. And who's calling again?
This is the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department.
County Sheriff. Okay. Well, we sure appreciate this information.
Okay, did you get that phone number?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye.
Oh, Bureau Sergeant.
Yes, sir, Sergeant. I'm calling for the UFO Reporting Center in Washington.
Right.
We talked to your communications center earlier this morning, and they said that a couple of your pilots had been up and seen the two objects that went over California.
Yeah, that's correct.
And we're trying to get the parties' names and home telephone numbers now. He said that one had the last name of...
That's right. You want to hold on for a second? He's here.
Sure.
All right.
Good morning. This is UFO Reporting Center in Washington.
Yes.
I wonder if we could get a description of the objects you saw this morning.
Yeah, hey, are you the man were you on duty about 3 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay, I'm the one that calls you.
Oh, I see.
So you can put my name on it now. I couldn't do it.
Okay, that's quite an overlap there.
Well, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was hesitant this morning till the rest of this thing went down, and then it became official as far as we were concerned.
Yeah.
And my captain really is hinky. Yeah, hey, okay, you had the two we had this morning, right?
Right. Okay, what was your first name?
Theodore.
Theodore, okay.
And deputy sheriff of the county of Los Angeles and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and I gave you the time this morning was about 20:45.
Right.
Right in there.
Right. Okay.
It was about the object that fell from it.
Right. Uh-huh.
Now, did somebody from our department again further called you then, I assume?
Yeah, the communications center got a hold of us. Yeah.
Sergeant Rupp.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, he advised you we had another sighting at one of our Firestone Park units sighted it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now, apparently, as we tied that down time-wise, he said it was 0320. My partner and I had the one at 9:45. We had the other pilot I told you about out of here sighted it somewhere around 3:30, 3:25, somewhere in there.
Uh-huh.
We were vague on the time, so we didn't really look at it at the time.
Right. Okay.
So it was probably the same sighting, just coming further this way.
Okay.
The Firestone unit had the same two lights, with the exception the rear one was trailing to the right. You know, like half of a V-type formation.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Did he also tell you that they had a shape to it?
No.
Yeah, it was ball-shaped.
Just a regular ball. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Do you guys really get many sightings like this?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Not so much objects that are seen over such a wide area. Most of this stuff is really confined, you know.
Yeah.
But something like this, seen over a wide area, we don't get anything too often.
I understand from our communications sergeant that it was seen, from Sacramento on down on the Civil Defense Loop.
Uh-huh. Well, then it had to be a couple high flyers.
Huh. Like I say, with the exception of that one that came down through my partner and I, that thing was, we were looking at it at 600.
Yeah.
It was weird. How about objects with blue flashing lights on them? Do you run across that very often?
Yes.
All right, we've had numerous reports in the industry area in the past. In fact, we had one, I couldn't give you a date or time on it, but it was a few months ago on Long Beach, or not Long Beach, but L.A. policeman and his son came into the station and gave a location and said, hey, this thing's coming down out there and it's got flashing blue lights on it. So they got a hold of our helicopter over the radio and asked where they were, and, they were quite a ways from it. And they told him what they had. And this guy from LAPD says, hey, I had to come in and tell you. I knew I couldn't call. You wouldn't believe me. But I didn't know blue flashing lights were predominant in these things.
Yeah, and then there's a combination of the colors, red, blue, green, white, it all fits a pattern, but there's a wide variety.
Huh. I imagine getting all the calls, you guys can almost put one pattern-wise all the way across.
Yeah, well, we like the one early this morning, why we'll just plot the course of this thing and see if we can't come up with something.
Yeah, beautiful.
So,
you guys private organization or government financing?
No, it's private, self-funded. No, we can't get any government financing. They're out of the business completely.
I always figured they said they were. Okay, listen, if we see anything else, we'll give you a call in.
And you've got our number, right?
Right.
Okay, and remember, any police officers reporting sightings can call collect.
Beautiful.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you much.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Yes, I'm calling for the UFO Reporting Center in Washington. We understand you had some activity in the sky down there early this morning. I wonder if you could give us any information.
This is Death Sergeant. Can I help you?
Yes, sir. I'm calling for the UFO Reporting Center in Washington.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if you could give us any information on the UFO reports in your area. They're early this morning.
Okay. It just so happens that I have one of the officers sitting right in here that observed it. I'll let him talk to you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Just a second. Okay, how do I get him off hold? Hello, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I understand you.
Green?
I understand you saw something in the sky this morning.
Yes.
I wonder if we could get a description of that.
Well, approximately all we could see that we really could tell of it were that there was two distinct lights.
Uh-huh.
Appeared to be two different objects. And all we could actually see on it would be like a giant light bulb in the sky. That's what it looked like. We could see no body, no form to the object itself.
And there were two of those?
Yes.
Okay. About what time did you spot those?
This would be about 5:15.
5:15, okay.
And we had them in sight for probably 10 minutes at the most.
Okay, now which direction were you looking at the time?
Okay, we were looking in a westerly direction.
West, okay. And which direction were they traveling?
East, southeast.
East, southeast, okay. How were the sky conditions there at the time?
Clear. It was dusk or dawn. Sun was just coming up, and that's when we lost contact with them. Visible contact is when they disappeared into the sunlight.
Okay, now did these actually come out of the northwest sky or western sky?
Well, we were actually parked for a few minutes, and we were looking in a westerly direction. And these two objects, they appeared to be morning stars. They were so low to the horizon and so bright. I was looking at them earlier, and that's just what I assumed them to be. And suddenly they started moving, and they possibly could have been moving all the time, but at one point we were able to see distinct movement. One object moved up closer to the other object, and then they both started accelerating in speed, moving in an easterly direction.
Okay, now were they leaving a trail of any kind?
No, as I said, all we could see were lights, no vapor trails or anything.
Okay.
In the west sky, it was still very dark.
Okay, now did they follow a straight flight path, or did they deviate from their flight path?
No, I said they were deviating. It looked like they were rising in height and coming down. And at one point, two objects were fairly close together, and the light appeared to go out on one object, and we still could maintain visual contact with the second object, but the first object just disappeared for approximately, maybe 30 seconds even. And then it came back into view again, as though it had turned in another direction and the light wasn't shining our way anymore.
I see. Okay. Can you compare the size of those with anything? Say like an article held at arm's length, a small article.
Well, all I can really say is that when we saw them, they appeared like they'd be the size of the planet. From the distance they were.
Okay.
Okay.
Would you say that those were a considerable distance away?
What is that? At the time we saw them?
Right.
Yes, I would say so.
Okay. And did you actually watch them until they disappeared in the distance?
Okay. The sergeant just informed me there's also another officer available who saw the objects last night, too, who could speak to you if you would be interested in that.
Oh, very much so, yes.
Okay. And what was your question again?
Did you watch the objects until they actually disappeared?
Yes.
Okay. Did you notice any unusual aircraft activity in that area?
None at all. There was nothing else in the sky moving at the time.
Okay.
And in a minute, I'm going to try and transfer you to these other officers on another line. So if we get cut off, you can get back to us at this number.
Have you ever seen one of these before?
No, I haven't.
Were you alone at the time?
No, I wasn't. I was with another deputy.
Okay, that would be two witnesses then.
Yes.
Okay, I think I got just about all I need.